Good morning. I just thought I'd make a quick video. I've been working a lot, like I told you before. It's going good. Made a lot of money last couple weeks. A lot of extra shifts. Work kind of slowed down, so I don't know what'll happen this week. You make hay while the sun shines, though. That's the way to do it. Anyway, I was thinking this morning about free will and, usurping of power and things like that, and how everybody wants things a certain way. I follow Twitter, and people get on there and they want disclosure, or they want this, they want that, they want all this stuff. And so I was thinking this morning about how, connecting with God is the first thing you have to have. And in the Sahaj Marg prayer, the first line of the prayer is, "O Lord, thou art the true goal of human life." And once you understand, you can start to, like for me, I'm just using myself as an example because I think it's important that we are directed by our own experience and not get caught up in all the rabble. And Daji talks about experience in the first, meditation series is when you first learn, and how, to write down your experiences in a journal and things like that. And I've just been following people, and they were talking about, well, anyway, let me go back to this. So anyway, once this goal of connecting to source becomes like the mainstay, your true focus, and it takes time and practice, because it's not a quote unquote natural response, even though it is the most natural response. In our society, we've been relegated to just, living for the moment, do as thy will, and have fun and do all this stuff, and it's made people sick, miserable, low conscious, low vibration, all these problems. People are having all these problems because they're not putting the awakening of their consciousness into godly energy. They're not putting that at the highest level, the highest priority. Now, what I like about Sahaj Marg is you're doing the path while you're living your life, while you're working, while you're studying, while you're, whatever it is you're doing, paying the bills, taking care of your kids, driving to work, doing all the things you had, the mundane things, become a celebration of this search for God. It becomes a celebration, right? Because you know that it's there at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the line, is connection to source. It's something that happens very subtly and the energy of it is so subtle. This is why I think it's so elusive to so many people, is the energy of it is very subtle. It's not going to hit you over the head. It's not going to usurp your free will. That's the opposite of what godly energy is. Godly energy wants to bring you along for the ride, whereas you're like an excited partner versus, I just have to do this. Oh, I have to go to church. Oh, I have to do these penance, and this, I have to say the rosary, and I have to go to confession, and I have to. It's not, when you're living in that godly energy, there's an excitement in that. Oh, I'm going to work. I'm serving people. I'm serving my family. Maybe some days you might just be, it might just be on a more material level, but you're still serving. You're serving something by being there. And what I've found is the more I focus on that, remembrance and all those things that Sahaj Marg teaches you to do, the more I do remembrance, thinking about God, thinking about the master or whatever in your mind helps elevate you to that higher plane. And you will be assisted with that also. I've had some interesting transformations in what remembrance has become for me based on, just the practice, because it evolves and changes, right? As our mind becomes more subtle, we're able to take it to a little more subtle level. At first, with remembrance, you might think of, Daji. You might think of Daji. You might think of him, imagine him there with you, or Babaji, imagine them there with you, and that's remembrance. And then it might go to a higher level where you're actually imagining yourself on a more ethereal plane, almost like these people talk about near-death experiences, where you're imagining yourself maybe in this golden city with enlightened, beautiful people walking around, and everyone is just filled with this godly energy. I mean, it can take on so many different forms, and it's unique and individual for each person's path. But what I was getting at is, everybody wants all this stuff to happen, and I think we just have to rest assured that anything that's overt or subverts consciousness or usurps our own free will is not it. So if we see, extraterrestrials, landing on the White House lawn, or we see the mainstream media telling us that, the sky is blue, we can't believe that. We have to trust our own experience, because they're liars and they're trying to deceive us. And when godly energy comes in, it's not going to be what people think. It's not going to be Old Testament stuff. It's not going to be wrath and judgment and condemnation. It's going to be upliftment. It's going to be fullness. It's going to be expansion of consciousness. It's going to be hell on people who are stuck, who are actually seeking darkness, who are, rats that are, only coming out at night. Those people are going to suffer mightily, but it's not going to be because of something God did. It's going to be because of what they've done. And that's important to understand. And I get, following stuff, listening to, people who are Christians, supposed Christians. They're not really Christians. They're fake. They're fake Christians, just like the fake news. And, those news reporters, they believe what they're saying. They get on there. They could not do that job every day if they didn't believe what they were saying. They'd have a nervous breakdown, because otherwise their conscience would be, get the best of them. And these people that are these, so-called Christians or whatever religion it is, it's the same level, right? They actually believe what they're saying, but they believe it for the wrong reasons. And it puts them at a very low vibration. And then they start judging and starts condemning and start proselytizing, and that puts them in an even lower vibration. And it's like a spiral, and they're stuck. And when the true energy comes in, when this true godly energy comes in, it's going to be awesome. And the people who have had an experience of it, people who have had just a glimpse of it, they're going to be open to it. They're going to be like, okay, this is familiar. This is home. This is where I'm supposed to be. I may not be at the highest level of this, and it might be a lot for me to take, but I'm going to surrender to it anyway. And God will always put you at a level that's comfortable. You're never going to get put at a uncomfortable place. This godly energy is very subtle and very loving. It's amazing, actually, that it could be so personalized. And anyway, just some thoughts I had. I hope you all have a good day.